What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, y'all can't call me Jack Stan Dave anymore or the Jack Stan King because we on a lift now. We have upgraded, but let me show you a few things before we get to the Mustang. So you guys saw earlier we knocked out the Ram. Ram is gone, cleaned up the spot. Like I said, we have another twin turbo car coming this weekend, so you guys will see that probably in the next video. Had to add my touch of the people that have really helped me out. I did get this banner made. This one I just wanted for the shop and for the trailer. I got two of them, but it's got the Coyote Direct logo, and then it's got my car in the background, and it's a picture that Kennedy took with our VV Media logo. So that's why I really like that one. I'll probably have some banners made, kind of like these ones where they're just the logos, but that one means a lot to me because it's got my car and the logos on it. But got a few banners up, started doing some cleaning up. I'm gonna show you guys a little. I'm just going to show you a video. And if you know what this is, you know what it is. So, yeah. Anyways, so we've got my car. Now, this is crazy. This is literally the first time this car has ever been on a lift. So two things this car's never done. One of them, it just now has been on a lift. It's never been on a lift before. Literally, we have built this car off of jack stands and in a driveway and in a garage, which it's pretty cool to see some of the shit that we were able to accomplish with that. Obviously, all these lines are loose because they're about to get redone. Got the fuel draining out because I'm going to show you why here in just a second. But it's pretty crazy to see what we accomplished literally in a driveway on jack stands. It's not like a lift makes you a better mechanic or anything, but it definitely makes things a lot easier and a lot more accessible. But anyways, so I don't think I'll ever use a jack again except if I'm at the track or something. This is life-changing. Oh, man. But anyways, it's not even my lift. So I'm definitely going to need to get one in the future. Anyways, got the Mustang up there. Where we left off last time was got the rear end painted. Like I said, you can see like at certain angles it's kind of splotchy because I already had to touch it up. And some parts on the front side are already messed up because of some fluid drip. But anyways, we took all the fluid out of the transmission because we put in the new Hughes billet torque converter. Wham! There it is. And no drive shaft yet. All these cables are cut. There's literally no wiring in the car right now. All the lines are kind of zip tied just so I could get it over here quickly. I didn't want to put everything back together when I knew I was going to rip it apart. So anyways, yeah. Oh, the other thing, I got sidetracked for a second. So I said two things my car has never done. One was be on a lift, and the second was actually be on a dyno. I have literally never dynoed this car. Dynos are good and all for a baseline, I guess, but high horsepower cars can't dyno unless you have like a hub dyno, which is super expensive and hard to find. But dynos are good for like baseline tuning and stuff like that, but all the tuning that we do and dialing in is at the track. So once the tune's set, we do the rest of it at the track. But yeah, this car's literally never seen a dyno, and I don't think it ever will because you can literally figure out the horsepower based off of weight and mile an hour. Not so much ET because 60-foot plays a role, but mostly mile an hour and weight. It'll give you a good idea at least. Not an exact calculation, but a good idea. Anyways, the reason why the car is on the lift is because I'm sick of working on the ground. Anyways, just kidding. So we're draining all the fuel out because we're going to put the Sean's billet custom alloy manifold on there that my buddy Matt Penland did some sick laser engraving on. And huge shout out to Matt, BO Fab, Billet Pro Shop, and then my buddy Colby. So we're going to put that on, and the rails on this guy take dash 12. And this is a dash 10 feed line. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to replace the line off the front of the filter that goes up to the Y. We're going to make that a dash 12. All that stuff's on the way. And then we're going to Y it to two dash 12s, obviously, to the rails, regular, whatever, all that good stuff. But we'll get to that point. But first, I wanted to drain the fuel out so we don't make a huge mess. So we'll remove that main feed line, and then we're going to lower the car and get the stock manifold off. So let's get going. Oh, damn, girl, you looking thick. That manifold looks insane up there. Holy crap. Man, These things ain't cheap, but holy smokes, that is worth it. What's also cool is look how much room there's under there. So what's cool about that is we can now, I'm going to order the bracket, I'm pretty sure, but we can move the regulator, and BL Fab makes a little bracket right there, and the regulator can sit down there, and we can run the lines under the manifold, which will really clean things up with all the routing of the fuel lines. So, and you can see, essentially, I think it's sat about here. So, yeah, we got to remake this pipe. But that was the plan all along. And you guys, you know, if you've watched the videos previously, I knew we were going to have to remake this upper pipe, which was fine. And that's why I haven't painted anything, was because I wanted to mock up the manifold, get Joe to mock the charge pipe up, and then we'll send the charge pipe off to get recoated. Send the hot pipes. I haven't decided if I really want to pull the header or not. I know I should, but gosh dang, that's a pain in the ass. And yeah, but anyways, that's where we're kind of at right now. I just wanted to mock it up, send some pictures to Joe. He's got my throttle body, which he already welded a V-band on. So I need to go pick that up and then put it on the manifold and take some pictures of that. But you can see, obviously, the pipe is a little short and wrong angle. It's just how the 18 manifold is. No big deal. We'll get that fixed up. What I was really concerned about was the clearance with this guy, because this isn't a makeshift deal, but it's not something that somebody sells. So that actually fits if you turn it like right there. So that'll fit. Just got to tighten everything up on that end. But anyways, like I said, I just sat it down there. I didn't even put the O-rings in the bottom of the manifold because I didn't want to ruin them, because we're going to take the manifold off and on a few times. But anyways, that's what it looks like. Now what I'm going to do is move on to the next project, which is we're going to get the car back in the air, pull the pan, because I actually need to tap the trans pan for the new temp sensor. So there's a few different ways you can run trans temp sensors. One is in the line in the back, and then one is straight out of the pan. Now, some people run both because they want to see how cool the fluid is coming out of the fan or going into the fan, however you want to look at it. Just some people are really big data people. Or the most common, I wouldn't say it's the correct way, but I think it's the best way, is just to tap the pan. You can see how hot the fluid is actually getting in the pan. But like I said, some people run both sensors. I ran the sensor this time back in the cooler, and I didn't like the readings. The readings it was giving me is not what I was looking for, essentially. So we're going to go back to tapping the trans pan, putting a sensor in there. So let's get the old Tang Stang jacked up. All right, so we got the Hughes pan pulled out. Then we're going to tap the side right there. Cleaned it out. There's a little bit of gunk in there. It's brand new transmission. So just kind of show you what the underneath looks like. But yeah, a little filter. Shazam. But yeah, so it's going to be tapped somewhere over here. But yeah, that's what the inside of a Power Glide kind of looks like. Well, just the bottom where the solenoids and stuff are, but nothing too crazy. Just a 2,000 horsepower Hughes Power Glide, you know? No big deal. So I'm going to get my little sensor out of that fancy box in there. And I think it's 1/8 inch NPT. I'll double check, obviously, but that's just kind of what I'm guessing. But anyways, we will tap the pan now. I just got these really cool drill bits here. So what's cool about these is they have the matching drill bit for the tap. Look at that. You don't even have to look. Let's get all your metrics. Look at that. Trying to stay organized around here. Boom. I think this is the NPT box. Maybe not. One of these boxes is. I don't know which one it is. But anyways, there you go. It's pretty cool. So you don't ever have to. I used to just like throw the drill bits in here and could never find the matching tap for the drill bit. So that was fun. So anyways, make your life a little easier. All right, so we had to get a workout in. So Ken Dog's here. But anyways, I had to go get a drill bit that I was missing. So drilled it 21/64 and then tapped it 1/8 inch NPT. Clean it out real good. Got a little temp sensor that's going to go in there. And then we'll put the pan back on the transmission. Alright guys, so it is it's about a week later than the clips that you guys have seen. Only reason why I'm a little behind on the videos because now I'm kind of going between my car and then working on Jack's car. And so the next video you'll probably see is an update on Jack's car. Just waiting on a few things, but we've been just kind of cranking on that one when we can. Anyways, the real reason why you haven't seen my car finished is because I'm lazy and I'm slow and I really enjoy being on jack stands. Now being on a lift, I've kind of upgraded. Now, the real reason is, so we got the car finished. Joe did an awesome job on the front end. Literally, all I was supposed to do was take the car home, pull everything off, paint the engine bay, fix the leak in the pumpkin, put a new gasket on the 9-inch, and then tap the trans for the temp sensor, and literally the car should have been done and ready to go. Well, when driving the car home, we noticed that and I've talked about this in previous videos, but just kind of reminding you guys because it's been a while. When driving the car home, we noticed that when you would press on the gas just a little bit, or it was kind of a timing thing, but at the same time when you would not get on the car, but like, you know, press the gas probably 20-30% throttle, not just putting around, but give it like 20-30% throttle, it would shut off all the injectors except one. So, which was really weird because before all this we had wiring issues, and I literally bought new wiring harness and switched everything out. We fixed all those issues, and then all of a sudden they came back. And the only thing that had changed really was the 85 tune. But at the same time, when I was braking the car in on pump gas, I wasn't really braking the car, and I was kind of just like cruising around. But the only difference is when I was cruising around, I literally like went around my block, which was probably, I don't know, like literally a 1-minute drive, and then put it back in the driveway. Whereas now, when I was on the E85 tune, I was driving it for 10-15 minutes to drive it to Joe's house. And what's funny, not funny, but it did actually happen on the way to Joe's house, and I just kicked it off as, oh, I was throwing a random code or something. It's not true. Because then when we drove it back from Joe's house, I actually followed Joe in the F-150, and Joe was driving the car, and you can literally hear the idle difference between 1 injector and 8 injectors. It sounds really different. So I noticed there was an actual issue. Started working with Lund. He's like, man, it's got to be a wiring issue. Like, we changed nothing. But the thing is, I replaced all the wiring. So my buddy Danny and I went through literally the entire harness with a voltmeter, trying to check resistance, trying to check all the grounds, check the power. I mean, literally, we checked everything. And we couldn't find a single issue wrong with the car, with the wiring, anywhere. So went back and forth with Lund, trying to see if we could try some new things. We kept trying different wires. We kept switching stuff around just to try stuff. I worked with a lot of people. I started messaging a lot of people. I'm like, has anybody seen this? And nobody has really seen it. And the codes it was throwing was essentially, it thought there was a wiring issue. So the only thing, and it's probably not this, so the only thing we could think of was it's got to be the direct injection. But Lund had turned the direct injection off in the tune, so we're like, how can it pick up a direct injection deal if it's all turned off? The only thing we could think of, or I could think of, is that the stock computer, somewhere deep down in the PCM algorithm bullshit, it's doing like its forward drive checks, and once you start driving for a certain amount of time, maybe it's looking for that direct injection even though it's turned off. I don't know. I'm not a Ford engineer. I'm not a tuner. But anyways, at this point, I was so frustrated with the damn car and the stock ECU stuff. And I made the stock ECU work for a long time, and Lund can tune those things. I mean, they've got cars literally going very, very low sixes on stock ECU tuning, which is phenomenal. But the way that my car's been going, I probably should have switched to an aftermarket ECU a long time ago. like a Holley, a Fuel Tech, a Haul Tech, any of those. I should have switched to a long time ago with how much stuff I've removed. A lot of people didn't remove as much stuff as I do that stay on the stock ECU, but anytime I remove something, honestly, Lund was able to make it work, which is really cool, getting the stock ECU to work. Now, the stock ECU is awesome, but there's also a lot of limitations to it. You can't really put in fail-safes. You know, if the fuel pressure drops, there's no way to put something in that tells the computer, you know, to turn power down or to drop timing as fuel pressure drops, you know, to save the motor in case a pump goes out. There's a lot of little things like that, fail-safes, that you can put in these aftermarket ECUs, which could end up saving your motor in the event that something happens. Now, shit breaks all the time, it's race car stuff, but it's nice to have those things in the ECU. You know, Holley, Fuel Tech, Haul Tech, any of those, they can have your bump, essentially, you know, your two-step, all that stuff built into one thing. You don't have to have a smooth stage bump box, a watt box, a this, that, a boost controller. You can have literally just a Holley boost controller. So everything can be in one instead of having like 9,000 different add-ons. And that's why my wiring looks like shit, because I had to add stuff progressively throughout the years. But anyways, so yes, I finally have jumped the gun and went to a Holley Dominator system, and the issue is that at the same time I got all that stuff and it got all delivered to the house, Streetcar Joe got sick. And so that's why my car has been down a very long time. You know, I waited, essentially we finished the front end, and then I took like 2 or 3 weeks trying to get the stock ECU to work. Said fuck it, ordered the Holley Dominator. That stuff got in within a couple days. Huge shout out to Matt, Billet Pro Shop, helping me out get that stuff here quick. I'm a Holley dealer now too, by the way, if you guys need anything from Holley, but got that stuff pretty quick. And then Joe was finishing up Jack's car, and Jack with the white Mustang, he had the blue Fox body before, now it's a white SN95. But anyways, finished that car, and I was supposed to be next in line to get my car wired by Streetcar Joe, and then Joe gets sick, and so now here we are, and my car has been down a long time. The good news is, talked to Joe yesterday, he's doing a lot better, but it's just bad timing all around. So I don't know when the car's gonna get done. It's a good question, but yeah. Now you'll see, because like I said, I filmed this a little later on, so like some videos that are coming out I've already filmed, so I know what's going on ahead of time. The Gen 3, I'm gonna warn you because I'm going through this right now, the Gen 3 Coyote is so damn different than the Gen 2 Coyote. Even when you delete direct injection and you lock the cams, which you can lock the cams on Gen 2, but pretty much a lot of sensors are different. So none of the Holley stuff is plug and play. Just forewarning you. So that is the update on the Tang Stang. I don't know when it's going to be done. It sucks. It's been down a long time. I feel like I've let you guys down. I feel like I've let myself down, and I've let everyone down that works with me on the car, that supports it. But what can you do? Just keep working on it. And it's not like all the stuff's there and it was just ready to go. Like, I tried to make the stock ECU work for a long time, and then all the Holley stuff came in. Tried to, you know, I waited a couple weeks for Joe to finish Jack's car so I could get my car wired by Streetcar Joe, and then Joe gets sick, and almost 3 weeks later, here we are. So we've ran into a lot of roadblocks lately. A lot. So yeah, I wish there was something I could do about it, but there's not. Literally just it's just a waiting game right now. So I am going Holley Dominator. I literally have everything I need. Actually, that's not true. I had to overnight a bunch of stuff yesterday. But we do have everything we need. We're going to attack the Dominator, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that was supposed to be plug and play isn't, and you'll find that out in the next couple of videos. But be patient with me. I'm really trying. And check out coyotedirect.com. We'll see you guys on the next one.